go ahead and get a pencil, some markers, and if you have a paintbrush, you can get a paintbrush and a little water. If you don't, that's okay too. We're going to start with a pencil, and we're going to talk about different lines. So on the back of your paper, you're going to draw a zigzag line up and down with a pencil. The next line you're going to make right here is going to be sort of a wavy line to look like the rolling hills. Okay? Doesn't have to look exactly like mine, you just want some zigzags and waves. Way back here, you're either going to make a sun or a moon. I'm going to make a moon. So I'm going to do a half shape like a letter C, and a curve in it to make a little side of the moon. These are back of our mountains. This is going to be a little bit closer up. And right here in the very front, you're going to do one more wavy line, and maybe this time you go down and up, and down and up, and down and up. We're creating a landscape with simple lines. In each section, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go ahead and try to make some really amazing lines in the background. So let's see, maybe in this one we can do some more zigzag lines. And I'm going to repeat that. So I have another zigzag line and another zigzag line. So there are 7 elements of art. One is called line, and lines make up all different types of artwork. So as you can see, I've created shapes in this section, different lines. Now in this section right here, I'm going to do a different type of line. Maybe I'll do a let's do vertical lines, just straight up and down. That's an easy one. In the third section, let's think of another type of line. We could do spirals all over. Okay. And the top one, you can leave blank so we can do some color back there. So next I'm going to use some markers and I'm going to trace my lines, and I'll be right back. Hey, I've done all my lines with different colors, and I've kind of roughly colored in the background. This is where your water comes in. If you don't have any water, that's okay. You just did a great job practicing all your lines. Now if you get a little water and you start to go over your marker, it blends like paint. And now we're getting a little bit of paint from our markers. So I'm just using just water, and as you can see, it's blending in all these colors. You might want to practice with this on a blank piece of paper or an extra piece of paper on the side if you want first. But as you can see, you can even use a sponge if you have a little tiny sponge. If you don't have a paintbrush, you could try a sponge at home, or a cotton ball, or a Q-tip. If you have a Q-tip, those are the things that your mommy and daddy maybe clean your ears with or use for makeup or something. So I'm using just a little bit of water to blend in this purple color. Now my blue didn't look like it blended as nice as my purple did, but you can still see that it's creating a really cool watercolor effect. Another option you can do is you can get a piece of foil. Here's my piece of foil, or even a piece of plastic bag, and what you do is you color on your foil and then you get your paintbrush or your Q-tip, whatever you're using, and you put a little water and voila, you have paint. And you can go in and add more colors with that. So this is a good way if you don't have any paint at home. You can use your markers to create a watercolor effect. So now we have a really cool background, and with your lines, you can also take your water, and you can kind of see what happens if you blend this green down. Well, this green isn't blending very well, but the blue is nice. So now I'm creating this blue blending here. Some colors bleed or create color more than the other colors do. So the blue looks like it's blending a little more than the green. The green's blending, but it's really light. Or you can just trace over the lines if you want and practice painting with your paintbrush, tracing over the lines, or your Q-tip. You can also, like I said, use a sponge. So I'm going to color this whole section in, I think. And then on my purple section, I'm just going to do the lines. So now you can see up here it started to blend into lots of really cool color up top. It almost looks like a Halloween night or a fall night. Okay, and I'm being gentle not to make my hairbrush have a bad hair day, which means we want it to have a good hair day. We want to take care of our brushes. So now with this one, I think I'm just going to go over the purple a little bit and practice painting zigzag lines. And I don't have to worry about messing up really, because I'm just going right over my marker. And I'm just practicing with water and practicing how to create zigzag lines with my paintbrush. This is a really good way to practice for painting, and also just making lines, which is one of our 7 elements, remember? So one of our 7 elements of art, one of the main things about art is creating different types of lines. Did you know if you could draw a few lines, you could pretty much draw anything? I think I've told you that before. Sorry, my little bird talks, so you can hear him in the background. Well, her, she's a girl, but she's talking a little bit today. So I can even go back up here and say, oh, I want to try to blend this a little more right here. And I'm practicing my lines, seeing how even I can get them. Now I'm going to blend these ones, I hope, at the bottom, because I picked 2 colors. I'm going to try to blend it right in the middle. There I go. Cool. And now I'm going to blend these ones. I'm going to get a little more water. Blend these ones. And blend these ones. So you can see that orange and that red kind of blending together to make different colors. And this is a fun thing that you can practice with all different types of drawings that you're doing at home with markers. These are just either Crazart markers or the cheaper brand. I've used Crayola markers. There's lots of different colors. I haven't tried Mr. Sketch yet, so if you have Mr. Sketch, you can give that a try and see if it works out for you. But basically any marker that's not permanent. So if I would have made a Sharpie on here, which I did up here, it's not going to blend because it's Sharpie. So I wanted it not to blend up there, so I did a Sharpie up there. Now we have this beautiful watercolor painting that we did together. Great work, guys. Can't wait to see you next week.